What's up, guys? It's Brendan from Market Makers, your home for Wyckoff and Advanced Fibonacci TA. We need to go over the markets. Obviously, everything dumped and then everything pumped. So let's talk about what's happening in the marketplace right now. We need to look at the other indexes. I know some of you are going to roll your eyes, but you guys got to understand this money is all connected. It wasn't a coincidence Bitcoin dumped when the indexes dumped, okay? And then we had the conflict that turned into an open shooting war in Eastern Europe. So that's going on. That was a catalyst. But let's go ahead and look at the marketplaces. Russell 2000. This is officially in a crash. It's off 23.5%. See down here by my cursor? 23.5% on my price time metric. By the way, I have to tell you guys, I have bad OCD and I'm using my brand new Samsung Ultra tablet, but look at the window. I'm using the screen recorder on it. The circle here from my webcam, I hate the circle. Really like the square, and it's not an option. So if you guys know of a software that works really well on Android, not those freeware, screen recorders, then let me know, because not thrilled with this. I am in a dimly lit room because I'm visiting family in the city. Let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is also off over 20%, officially in a crash as well. This is a 4-hour time frame. Look how beautiful this is, though, these harmonic patterns. So we had a Batley here, and then we had a Gartley here. The Batley dropped the price. We traded these in a row. The Batley dropped the price, and then the Gartley pumped the price, and then it descended from there as well. And let's go ahead and go forward. SPX. SPX is officially in a correction, minus 15%. The thing to notice here about all of these indexes, okay, they're all the same, and Bitcoin as well. They all have a nice demand wick. You see that? That's a nice demand wick. You're trying to establish a trading range. You see this recovery more so in some of the indexes than you do in others. It's pretty prominent in the Russell. You see this big demand wick right here. And now you're trying to come up and establish an accumulation range for price to move around. But other than that buy up right there, the price looks pretty weak. But let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin on the weekly, what are we down here? Let's check this out. Price range. We are down 52%. So obviously that's a crash. But that's been going on since the all-time high, which was reached November 8th. By the way, do you know when the all-time highs were reached in the Russell and in the NASDAQ? They were both in November as well. Coincidence? No. It's because Bitcoin moves like a high-spec, hyper-spec tech stock, okay? So that's what it's tied to. All three of those markets peaked out and in November. And so this is what Bitcoin did as well. And right now we have a very nice demand wick. We got bought back up here, as you can see in the weekly time frame. Let's go to the daily, though. The weekly, weekly's too much delay. You can see it really well here on the daily, okay? So here's our trading range. Here's our selling climax candle from December 5th, and where we are currently in price, you can see right here. Demand wick trying to establish accumulation range right here. This is our automatic reaction candle. So what I actually do here for Wyckoff, and we do Wyckoff weekly live streams in the room, okay? I host those. What I would do here is mark off this area. This is my potential trading range area for me to target, okay? So this is what I do, is mark off this area. And now if you look at the fibs here, the yellow fibs are for a wave down, and the white fibs are for a wave up, okay? You can see how clearly Bitcoin is respecting these fibs, okay? So you came down, you wick through all of these fibs, and you look over to your left to see how accurate they are, because you had a lot of volatility. But if you look over here to your left, you can see, look at that. Look how clean that is on the fibs. And then right here as the ceiling as well. So you always want to look for confluence when you're doing this, laying out your fibs. Oftentimes they're not going to be 100% perfect, but as you can see here, look at the wicks. Look at it, see the shadows? As you can see here, very accurate, okay? Very accurate. So we have this trading range in here. Right now, this trading range is defined like this. This is what we're dealing with in this trading range at the moment. We have to see if this holds up or where Bitcoin wants to go. Lots of moving parts. I think oil even hit, what, $100 a barrel briefly. So lots of moving parts going on. Let's go ahead and see where we're at in Ichi and everything. And let's check this on the daily time frame. Still curling around for that cloud. You see that? We wicked up into it and we got rejected. And we're curling around for that cloud. So I want to see that. I want to see that move. That may be the punch through move for Bitcoin, coming right up through this area like we talked about. and you might be making some little waves up here as you start to do it, and then punch through here. Hopefully you get on top of this cloud. Now, not to sugarcoat anything, because you guys know I don't sugarcoat anything here at all. This is very bearish, okay? The market activity is very bearish, but the difference between me probably and other people that are doing all the case for the bears now and stuff, I'm giving you the TA as it changes with the trend, because our trades are based on current trend. That's how we are trading. So right now, yes, it is bearish, but we recovered. We're forming a base and we're trying to hold accumulation. And if we can punch through, there will be more upside. And you guys know we always lay out where everything is for resistance. And right now, your key resistances on your way up here, looking at my white fibs, you have the 39,264, the 40,790, 42,316, and 47,255 is higher up. Your golden ratio phi is at 55,245. Can Bitcoin do it? Yeah, it absolutely can. It absolutely can. Look, all these markets are 3 sigmas oversold, okay? They're all moving 3 standard deviations from the trend, from the longer term trend. So they're all oversold. Bitcoin not as much, because it's highly volatile, but the indexes aren't as volatile normally. So they're all oversold. So just like a rubber band, that analogy I keep giving you guys, you're going to see a pump up to resistance at some point. If it comes around that cloud, you're going to see Bitcoin try to defeat the 233 or try to defeat the 55. It'll either flip those resistances or it will get rejected, okay? And that's how trading works. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame you can see here as well. We're going to scroll this up. Here's our 55,233, our bearish cross, and Bitcoin got rejected basically almost by the 55. The 55 is laying right on 38.9, which was a previous accumulation box over here to the left. You see that? You see how closely it's tracking to its support? You can see it right here. This was your previous support, right? And this is where you're at once again. You're in the same accumulation range, except for this big sell-off dip you had. But look at the rocket ship back up. We had a lot of guys that trend traded that in the room. But so this is where it's going to try to accumulate. And then once again, it'll try to go through the steps and follow those steps to break back out and then break up into this trading range, right? This will be key, like we were right here, being above that 233. You need to see Bitcoin come up and get up above that 233. That will be absolutely crucial. We'll see if Bitcoin can do it. So much will depend on if the other markets get bought up. There's so much buying the dips. The super bubbles specialize in buying the dip. So let's look where we're at here on the Ichi. As you can see, the cloud's tucking in a little bit. See, just like on the daily, okay? Just like on the daily. The longer you spend in a range, more often than not, if you don't make a lot of progress down or progress up, the resistance will start to thin out, because it's buying and selling, like we talk about so many times. Buying and selling is occurring, and you get these thinner areas of clouds, and this is where you want to be able to punch through, is these thin areas. So this looks like to be thinning out March 1st, okay? March 1st will be interesting. You know what? Let's do a fib time. We haven't done one of those in forever. Let's see if we can find something here on the daily, and let's see what we can find here. Let me grab the fib time. Let's pull this in. Where's a good spot to do this from? We can try it back here, or we can try it up here. This is really current trend though. But let's just see what it looks like. We can always move it around, right? So all you gotta do is move stuff around. Doesn't look good, move it around. Trend-based fib time. Let's try here. Go to our up thrust, and then go to our recent sell-off candle. Let's see if we have anything. We got March 3rd, March 5th, March 7th. All right, so let's back it up. See if we get any more dates. Try it from back here. Trend-based fib time. Selling climax candle. Usually you want to do this at pivotal points. Like a pivotal point, obviously, this is a massive move. I think that was a 20+% move back up after a sell-off dump. So it's a good idea to do that. All right, so this is March 4th. So March 3rd, March 4th, somewhere in that range, we could see some type of pivot. And here, I mean, you look at how it laid out here, right? And then you have a pump candle here. Do you have a change in trend on your pivot here down? Remember, this is a daily time frame, okay? So some of these candles, even though they look small, they could be sizable. That is, whatever that is, 1,500 points, that one candle. But this candle is 41,000 to 39,000, so a couple thousand points. we'll see what happens here. We could play around with this. You guys can do this on your screens as well, so you're not watching me play with it. But checking out pivotal areas for trend-based fib, you can go out to the weekly. You can do different time frames too and see what you come up with. But as of right now, March 4th is the date I'm getting here on the daily. Looks reasonably well laid out as far as what the candles did. You had a pump candle, you have a dump candle. So those two are good. This candle is kind of a nothing candle, but the trend did change afterwards. So, again, it's just a tool, right? There's no guarantee on accuracy or anything. It's just a tool that you can use. But looking at the trend-based fib, I do want to see that progress. If it is March 4th, would put it somewhere over in this area of the thinner cloud. So that would be interesting to see if that does pan out. And that'll be something that we have to watch. And then let's turn this off and let's look and see what we got here. We can take the Ichi off, look at our caterpillar. I think everything's gonna be it's actually kind of tunneling up. I was about to say it's probably elevated. It's starting to tunnel up and Bitcoin's trying to get above. It is above the median line right now. Let's see what our indicators are. I mean, your ATR is still really elevated. You see your volatility up here? Remember, that's the separation of candles, right? So your volatility is much higher up here. And again, you'd want to get some more baseline activity. You can get activity anywhere, just like you did here. But in general, you'll see more activity coming down to a baseline. So that's important to keep your eye on, important to watch. Let's see what's happening with the volume here. Obviously, we had that big relative buying volume spike, and we had consistent buying volume, and now, it's evening, so buying is dipping off. So just something else to watch. Your ALMA RSI turned positive, and everything else, again, the markets are all tied together because they're pumping. Well, not pumping. They recovered. I guess you'd call it a pump on a recover. They recovered, and so did Bitcoin. And we need a pump up here on the 4-hour time frame. We got to get above the 233. You see that? You get above the 233, you get above 41.7, and you're sitting pretty on the 4-hour time frame because right now you're in a red trend. You want to be in a green trend. And so if we can get back up into that higher echelon where we were trading before above the 233, that's bullish for Bitcoin, and there'll be more upside and another update coming tomorrow. Hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Check out our Discord link in the video description. Check out our Twitter in the video description, as well as BitGet, our sponsor. No VPN, no KYC, all in the video description. All right, guys. Hope everybody had a fantastic Thursday. Another video coming tomorrow. I'll put out some altcoin videos for you as well tomorrow. Let me know if this circle for the webcam bothers you because it really irritates me. I'll talk to you guys later.